Every car enthusiast knows a road that just has that special something. A tight hairpin, a blind crest, an unbelievable view. A road that seems like it was made with spirited driving in mind.
There are roads like this all over the United States. But this got us thinking, would it be possible to drive all of them? Drive as many of the best drivers' roads as possible in one road trip and rank them to determine our favorite driving road in the US.
Our mission will lead us across the country, tracking down the roads that produce that certain tingle in our brain that scare the breath right out of us and leave us speechless with their grandeur. For the next 3 weeks and 8,000 miles, we invite you to come with us on one very spirited drive.
So this is a sponsored road trip, as they all are. Speck, as you know, is a paint protection film company. Both of our cars are fully wrapped in Speck paint protection film, and they're located in Seattle.
Ooh, I should have bought the helmet, dang.
Whenever Thorne finishes whatever important business he has in this parking lot, then we can get going. So, you good?
Huh?
You gonna ride that to Seattle, or what?
I could. It's got a lot of battery left still.
Yeah. Well, I'll see you there then.
Yeah? You're almost out of gas. This thing's electric, baby. All right, this is really where my Civic shines. I mean, it's great on back roads and everything. When we get on the highway though, and I just set that adaptive cruise control with the lane keep assist, and these comfy seats, just kind of sit back and relax. We are heading up all highway roads for the next 12 hours, all the way up to the Pacific Northwest.
It will no doubt come as a bit of a disappointment to some of you that we won't be able to stop at any roads between SoCal and Washington State. Unfortunately, our trip schedule necessitated that we make it to Seattle today in order to stay on track. Every spirited driving road we stop at takes at least 4 hours to get the bare minimum amount of footage to properly represent it on YouTube. So despite the fact that many excellent West Coast roads exist between our starting and ending points today, we'll have to miss them.
What we didn't miss was the tremendous West Coast landscape a few hours inland from the coast. From the incredible lakes of Northern California to the jaw-dropping Mount Shasta volcano that overlooks the small town named after it, to the absolutely unreal foliage in a little city in Southern Oregon.
So we are in the city of Ashland. It's a town of about 20,000 people here in Jackson County in Southern Oregon. And it happens to be, I would guess, the absolute peak season for leaves. Absolutely unbelievable. It's so gorgeous every direction that you look.
It's incredible. Must be like something about this valley that is conducive to making colorful trees, because it is popping off.
The cost of living here has got to be insane because everybody must want to live here. It's a Sunday, so everyone's out here in the park, and I'm invading the peace and quiet of the park with my loud car and loud brakes, but I'm just happy to be here, man.
The Pacific Northwest continued to charm us as we drove towards Seattle and Speck headquarters. The northwest corner of the US remains one of the most effortlessly beautiful places we've ever visited, even when only seen from the freeway.
Just as we start to toe the state line to Washington, what do we get? Rain. Of course.
And the heavy rain in Seattle led to an interesting discovery in the S2000 the following morning.
So it rained last night,
Water's coming in from somewhere.
Confirming once again that the S2000 is definitely still a project car, we made our way over to the headquarters of Speck USA, where I had booked an appointment for my newest vehicle.
Okay, so obviously I've brought you the greatest Honda vehicle ever made, and so I want to make sure it's got nothing but the best.
We do have a bunch of different colors. I know you guys have a little bit of the carbon on your cars already, but you know, why not spice it up a little bit more? We have a really cool like forged metal carbon.
This is so overkill. Whoa.
So it's 10 mils thick and actually has a clear layer of PPF over the top, which is what gives it that depth to look really realistic. But it still self-heals, so light scratches if you're riding your
From my feet,
Acto a little too hard, or your feet. Yeah. Or off-roading that thing, you never know.
Sure.
But those scratches should self-heal, and then it's gonna be hydrophobic, so it'll be easier to keep clean. Instead of like wiping down a white surface, you get to wipe down PPF. That will make that a lot easier.
Yeah.
Speck Automotive Films have been protecting the Civic Type R and S2000 from rock chips for almost 5,000 miles at this point in the trip. And while the little Moto Compacto doesn't exactly need PPF, it only felt right to have all three of our Hondas covered in Speck film. And while my scooter was being worked on, Michael helped us take care of the film on the cars, which at this point in the trip have seen a lot of abuse.
This is our finish, so that's that SiO2-based spray sealant. It's just gonna bring back hydrophobics, add a little bit of gloss, and essentially just next time you wash it, it's gonna be that much easier to keep it clean.
So what's this rally I hear you guys do?
Are you familiar with what stage rally is?
Yeah, it's like the most pure form of motorsports.
I would biasly agree with you.
Yeah.
I've been doing that around here in Washington and Oregon for stage rally the last few years. I started with just like amateur rallycross before that.
So what kind of Subaru?
You know, I started with the 2000 Impreza. It's this little like 2.5 RS.
GC, yeah?
Yeah, well, GC. It is actually my delivery vehicle back in college, my daily driver. And so we just slowly built that over the course of, 4 or 5 years. Almost ironic that I work in the detail industry because that's the opposite of what I do to my car out there.
Yeah. Do you have paint protection film on your rally car?
I put some on like the high wear areas.
Yeah.
Because it is self-sacrificial. So after like a stage, typically I rip it off and have to put more on because it gets eaten up.
Yeah.
But it's better than nothing, and it definitely protects, the livery or whatever.
I mean, talk about a torture test. I don't know of what's more like brutal to a car's paint than rally.
Yeah. There's honestly not too much. Unfortunately, last year we had a bad crash at Oregon Trail Rally. Ooh. And the car went to the crusher. So it's no longer with us. But it's okay, I got a tattoo to, keep it with me forever.
Yeah. Well, at least you didn't go to the crusher.
Exactly.
So that's good.
Yeah. So now we're building a new 04 WRX chassis, but I'm actually keeping it naturally aspirated. More bang for buck there with less problems.
Check it out.
What?
This is a flex. This is the biggest flex I've ever had.
That looks sick.
It really does. It's sleeked it up.
Forged carbon or something?
It's definitely lighter.
Yeah, definitely.
It's definitely.
You didn't just add weight to it.
No. Right. Make me buy another set of tires.
Rear brake?
You're gonna buy me another set of tires.
Before we departed Speck, we chatted with some of the employees there about their favorite roads in the area, particularly ones we could hit while heading east out of Washington. One that came very highly recommended was a little dead end known as Sultan Basin.
This is a very nice road. I think emblematic of the Pacific Northwest in all the ways that you would expect. Gigantic evergreens just going straight up toward the sky. The weather's a little damp, the road is damp. So we're definitely not cooking on this road. This is probably as close as I'll ever feel as what an English person probably experiences driving a Lotus Elan on a wet B road.
This is not a road we found on the internet. This is not something that we looked at on Google Maps. It's a road that came recommended. And recommended roads are usually really good roads. I mean, that worked out really well for Yerba Buena. And I think it's working out really well for this road too. It's kind of eerie. We got fog. The sun is up right now, but it's still kind of dark because the trees are so tall, shading the road. The moss growing on the trees. It's got a slight mist in the air. And then the road itself is nice and flowing. It's no tail of the dragon. Don't get me wrong. The road is okay, but it's nice and wide. So I even have kind of have some room to work around with. With this car, is pretty impressive. Some movement room in the lane with this car being so huge. It's really nice.
This road itself is not super technical, Sultan Basin Road. It's not really tight. It's definitely more of a high-speed sweeper type of road. But there's nice little crests and elevation, and the real treat is getting to go between all these gigantic trees. It's the ambiance is something like we've never seen on this trip before.
The scenery is really where this road shines, because it's very different than what Ben and I are used to in Virginia, but it's also very different than some of the other roads that we've seen on this trip. It's no longer brown, it's no longer canyons and deserts. Now all of a sudden it is very lush, colorful, green. It's really nice. Also, temperature is really nice too. It's like slightly cold. It's like a soul road, you know? It's good for my soul.
It's very cozy, you know? I don't think that this is a road that you come out to carve. You let the ambiance kind of absorb you. It's not a high performance driving road, I don't think, so much as an experiential road. I think that what I'm looking for driving the S2000 specifically is a road that the design of the corners, the features and elevation change force you to comment on it. The best 10 out of 10 road, I think, for me is going to be something that really allows this car to stretch its legs, something that's tight and twisty and accentuates what the S2000 does best. And the pavement has just ended. So, if you have a Subaru, this may really be an amazing road, but I am not going to be able to tell you.
You know, it's funny, driving up this road, I was thinking about the incredible contrast to Apache Trail.
Sure.
Which was like almost a direct opposite of this road, big, open, and brown.
Yeah.
And this is like all tight and green and tall.
Apache Road felt like we were on Mars.
Yeah.
And this feels like the Pacific Northwest if you bottled it.
Man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you
everything.
could sell this for 15 bucks a pop.
Yeah.
It's killer.
Yeah.
The road itself, I didn't really think was like too special.
Yeah.
It's pleasant to drive for sure. But definitely, you know, not on the same driving tier as some of the stuff that we've hit on this trip. I would give the road a 6, but
Yeah.
I think that if you combine it and look at everything, like, so one factor is there's no traffic. Like, we've been standing here for, I don't know, 20 minutes and one car went by.
Right. It's a dead-end road.
It's a
So
dead-end
that
road.
will help with that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I think I value scenery a lot more than you do. Like, a toge road is not necessarily what my ideal picture of I mean, it would be nice, like
Yeah.
a nice, good twisty, but like, I don't weight it as highly, I think. Like, the scenery, I think, is more impactful for me.
Yeah, I just think that you can get scenery kind of with anything, but getting a good driving road with scenery, that's what makes a road like really special.
Sure.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's why like I would rate Yerba Buena or Apache Road so high. I think that combined with the vibes and the low traffic, I rate this a 7.5.
Yeah.
And then with the waterfall,
7.5.
Yeah.
You said 6.
The road is a 6. If you combine everything, it's a
so
7.5.
your total is a 7.5.
Total is a 7.5.
Okay, all right.
yeah.
I was getting a little bit concerned because I was going to give it an 8. Because like scenery, I give a 10 easily,
Yeah.
and then the road, I give like a 6. So.
You're too flippant with your 10s on scenery.
I love scenery, man.
I know, but this can't be a 10 and
This-
also...
Are you kidding me?
I mean, it's phenomenal, but if this is a 10, how is also
There can be more than
Yerba
one 10.
Buena a 10?
There can be more than one 10.
You can't give out 10s like that.
Ben, I feel
then.
like you're one of those teachers that's like nobody can get 100.
Well,
you know?
look, I'm not grading like the assignment that nature's given me.
More than one thing can be a 10.
Yeah, if you give out too many 10s, then the 10s lose their significance.
Well, we don't have a 10 total yet. The best we got was Yerba Buena, which I
Yeah.
give a 9. The road overall, though, is an 8, which is more highly rated than yours.
You think this road is an 8?
Well, maybe not this specific gravel part, but like down there was nice.
It's nice.
Private. It's swooping. It's flowing. Smooth
Yeah.
pavement.
The road,
wide lanes.
I think the road's forgettable. What's around the road is what really gives it character.
No potholes. Plenty of pull-offs and low traffic.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're being a little generous, but it's, you know, different cups of tea, I suppose.
Everybody that lives in this area are screaming at you right now, like,
Wow, I like it. It's a good road.
scenery's a 10. We got back to driving, and I won't lie, after 11 days on the road,
2,500 miles from home, I was desperate to get back to Virginia and my family.
These road trips are always fun and provide new and unique experiences, and they make for our most popular content on the channel. But at the same time, they are weeks of non-stop filming, deadlines, and sleeping in hotel rooms with your coworkers. We all wanted to get home to see our significant others, so even if our schedule had allowed us to hit more roads on our way out of Washington, I'm not sure that we would have been willing to delay ourselves any further.
Even as we shunned further detours, Washington still continued to show us its incredibly diverse geography from the highway. From freezing snow-covered mountains in Washington's Cascade Range, where Ben took a moment to remind us all that, yes, his S2000 was in fact rear-wheel drive. To the tunnels and bridges constructed along Stevens Pass.
Ben, you ready?
Oh yeah, another tunnel, Ben. Wow.
Listen to this, buddy.
Oh, I didn't realize that bees were indigenous to this area.
Ah, you're jealous.
Yeah, I am jealous.
To the jarring tourist attraction that is Leavenworth.
A town here in Washington that is like Bavarian themed. Strudel, Lederhosen, Oktoberfest. The whole town is themed. I'm very interested to know more. I must know more. The idea to create a Bavarian Swiss Alpine themed town came from two Seattle businessmen, Ted Price and Bob Rogers. They had chosen the theme based on the latter's experience in Bavaria while deployed by the U.S. Army during World War II. So it was literally investment dudes that were like, yo, you know what's sick? That's it. I thought it was gonna be like German immigrants all settled here in like the 1800s or something like that, and they were homesick. Nope. It's like if you took the Outback Steakhouse methodology and applied it to an entire town.
What's the Outback Steakhouse mentality?
Yeah. Outback Steakhouse is just like, hey, you know what would probably go crazy? If we just made an Australian-themed steakhouse that has no connection to Australia. What if we like get an Australian dude to do the commercials, and then like people will feel like it's like a, you know, a unique dining experience, like they're getting culture.
Bloomin' Onion isn't.
Turns out Bloomin' Onion is not even an Australian thing. I didn't know either, right?
Eventually, we passed through the arid deserts of eastern Washington, which hardly seem like they could be in the same rainforest of a state we explored earlier that morning.
We learned a little bit about the taste of Washington car enthusiasts.
Around this time, we were all getting a bit antsy with all of the driving and needed to get out of the car for a bit.
So I took a few minutes to stretch my legs and enjoy a quick ride on my backup Honda.
Let's have a peg dragging competition. Let's see who can drag peg first.
Nobody will drag peg.
You can absolutely drag peg on this
No,
thing.
there's no way. I know the pegs are low, but it doesn't go fast enough to get enough lean.
You're not a real biker, Ben.
Here, all right, let me try. Got it. Nailed it.
So basically, Thorn, you have to make a hairpin around me.
Okay, all right.
This is how you'll drag peg.
Or my body.
No, too slow. Get the knee down, Don't hit me.
I almost just took you out. You know what I think it needs, Ben? I think it needs a K-swap. You're just tearing up my tires.
I'm doing kiddie slides like Nikki Hayden.
It doesn't have good Continentals, Ben.
Ah, it's understeering, brother. I'm losing the front end.
Are you making a Honda joke?
I don't, it's not a joke.
I don't think I've seen you this focused even at like a time attack event.
Oh!
Was that it?
That was it. That was it.
Play the replay, I gotta see this.
That's drag. That's drag.
All right,
We all heard it.
all right. I'll give it to you.
Yeah,
Stop burning up the tires.
Victory burnout.
You're gonna buy my replacement.
That night, we said goodbye to Washington and crossed over into Idaho, where the following morning, Ben had another obscure road for us to drive.
We don't have too much time for detours, Ben. You think this is actually going to be any good?
I don't know, it looks crazy from above, like a lot of switchbacks, so it probably climbs a crazy elevation. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully it pays off though.
The initial signs were not good.
Well, Thorn, a gigantic dump truck is going up. So I can't imagine the road is all that good.
You little face.
Such a hater. Come up with any ideas, he puts it right down. This is Idaho Highway 11, also known as Gold Rush Byway, and I literally picked it from how squiggly it looked on Google Maps. It climbs consistently up the side of a mountain, but not straight up.
Okay. Okay. Very wide switchback, not tight. Like, the actual radius of the corner is pretty tight. But the lane is really generous. There's a lot of space on the road.
This road does look tighter on Google Maps, I will say. Ooh. The scenery's already getting good though.
It's nice to drive, very flowy. The road surface is reasonably well maintained. I'm not getting bounced around in the S2000. Oh, at a 15 mile an hour. Oh, I have to use two hands here. Okay, well that road surface is, whoa. A very wide lane.
Not a tight road, but you could do like a toge on this. You could, I think you could close it off and do a hill climb on this.
I respect it, I'm gonna use two hands. Definitely still a road where you can get some mile per hour going. But then it is coming up on something labeled as a 25 mile an hour turn. Oh yeah, and it's another one of these really pretty wide but consistent radius hairpins. We've got a nice view off to the side, some changing leaves, Jersey barrier to keep you from plunging to your death should you make a bad call.
There are a lot of semi-trucks. Getting all that gold. They gotta go somewhere.
This, I feel like, is more of the type of road that we're looking for on this trip, right? And we're not just looking for good roads, we're looking for good driving roads particularly. And this is something where the road itself, the features and the design of the road force you to engage with the road. They force you to comment on the road. The comment I want to make right now is that we are going literally 1 mile per hour because of the speed of the semi ahead of us.
He didn't take the slow vehicle turnout, so now I'm mad at him.
Thorn's making a pass on the semi. Something like Sultan Basin, the road itself is more of just the conveyance, the means by which you get to see the scenery surrounding the road, which is, I would say, a little bit more of a vibe than what Gold Rush Byway has going on. With regard to ambiance, it's Sultan Basin all day, I think. With regard to road, Gold Rush Byway, Gold Star.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a little short.
It's short, but it's like, it's a really cool combo of like lanes that are the width of like freeway lanes, but then, you know, hairpins and stuff. It's rare.
Yeah, it's clearly because of the semi-trucks.
Yeah.
Which there's a lot of semi-trucks.
Yeah.
That was weird.
It's a utilitarian route, and it's designed to just like reduce the grade that the semi-trucks have to drive down. That's why it's got so many switchbacks and they're so wide. But the byproduct of that is that it's a pretty fun driving road, you know, for enthusiasts.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough spots where you can pass the traffic either just, you know, because of a dotted line or it turns into a 2-lane.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah, it's one of those Apache Trail situations where like today we didn't get to have like a super great go at it.
Yeah.
But I think that, again, on a weekend, there's not going to be a bunch of semi-trucks here. I would almost guarantee.
Yeah.
A Wednesday morning is maybe not the
And
best time to come.
Scenery. Like scenery everywhere.
Pretty good scenery.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not like the best. It's not
Yeah.
a 10 in scenery.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good.
This is more my kind of road. Even somebody that's not doing it for fun would comment on, wow, this is a crazy road.
Yeah.
It's in your face. It requires you to at least put in like this much steering
And yeah,
lock.
there's like a couple hairpins, but then there's also like the sweeping, so it's a good variety of stuff. I was thinking this would be an amazing road to shut down and do a hill climb on.
This would be an incredible hill climb.
Yeah, and it's short enough you could learn turns.
Yeah.
And you could probably have a really fun hill climb here.
I mean, I'm surprised by the road maintenance, like the road condition.
Yeah.
Like there's some parts where it's really uneven, in some braking zones, unfortunately. But for what it is, considering really only semis drive down this, it seems like.
Yeah.
It's in pretty great shape.
It did have a small amount of grit, not quite as bad as Yerba Buena. Like Yerba Buena was a lot more of a gritty surface. This is a little smoother, but still enough grit that like it'd be sketchy on a motorcycle.
Maybe. I think this would be a great supercar road or like high horsepower car road because the lanes are wide and there are opportunities for you to like really goose it.
Yeah.
So in a fast car, you could actually stretch the legs a bit.
Yeah, I know, Ben. I know. I was stretching the legs, Ben.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Maybe you'll figure that out when
I
you
said
get a fast car.
When I said supercar, I meant Honda Civic Type R for
That's
sure.
right up there.
Yeah. So what would you rate it?
It's tough, man. I don't know because it's a great road, but when I compare it to some of the other roads we've been to, I don't know if it holds up.
It's way more forgettable. Do I think this is a better road to drive on than Sultan Basin? Yeah. Which one am I going to remember? Probably Sultan Basin.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Because of the scenery. It's a 10 out of 10 scenery there. I give the road a 7 overall.
Overall. Okay.
Overall. Yeah. I think the road is a good like 8 or 9. Scenery is maybe a 6.
I'm going to give it also a 7.5.
0.5.
Well, but same as I rated Sultan Basin, just for the inverse reason.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
This road is like the ambiance way less, but from an actual driving perspective, this is a little gem. Like if you're in the middle of Idaho and you need a fun road to drive, you could do worse than Gold Rush Byway.
But then we made the mistake of stopping on our way down and learning a bit more about the history of Idaho's Gold Rush Byway, which soured my opinion a bit.
Dude, I love the gunshots in the sign.
I know, right?
Imagine being somebody that's so stupid. You're like, learning? Nah.
50 years later, discovery of gold at Orofino Creek.
The timber industry flourished, giving rise to a proud culture of hard work and independence. So it's a logging road.
But it's a logging road because of the gold rush.
All these sites of interest are related to the frontier, right? Gold mining. Chinese miners. There is a site of interest called the Chinese hanging tree, Ben. And there's two ways you could take it. Maybe the tree is hanging and it's a Chinese tree. Alternately, it is a tree I should ostensibly be very, very offended by.
Dude, the U.S. has a dark history.
I mean, I don't know. There's no way that's what it is, right?
There better not
They
be.
couldn't have built this sign and been like, yeah, let's tell them about the Chinese hanging tree.
And to still call it that, if that was what it was. Okay, Ben. On September 10th, 1885, 20 years after the road was built, residents of the small town of Pierce were shocked to find the body of storekeeper D.M. Frazier. He had been shot and chopped to pieces in his own store. Locals immediately suspected Li Ki Nam, a Chinese merchant who had opened up a store in direct competition with Frazier. The vigilantes captured Li Ki Nam and his business partner, and by various threats, including hanging the store owner until he passed out, they coerced the two into incriminating each other over Frazier's murder. Not satisfied with the
claims that the vigilantes also rounded up 3 other Chinese men and hanged all 5 of them over the local deputy sheriff. There are no accounts of how the other 3 men were alleged to have been involved. So it was like a death penalty for an assumed murder?
It was mob justice.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
But that's why it's called the Chinese hanging tree.
It totally is. A makeshift gallows was created by lashing a pole between 2 trees.
We don't need the grisly details. I'm gonna just say I am downgrading this road to a 4 out of 10. Let's get going. I like this a whole lot more before we learned about this road, Ben.
They were hung twice before they finally had died.
What's next, Ben?
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, Ben, you said that this road was something you probably wouldn't remember. Do you think that's a different opinion now?
Yeah. This road has suddenly become way more memorable.
All right, well, so it hits all of the points then. It's a good road, and you're gonna remember it.
That sign was built like 10 years ago.
Not wanting to subject my ethnically Chinese coworker to more of Idaho's checkered past, I distracted him with another absolutely noteworthy road in the Potato State, US 12, or the Northwest Passage Scenic Byway. This gently winding highway crosses the state east to west, closely following the Clearwater and Lochsaw rivers. And while it's not a noteworthy road for spirited driving, it is jaw-dropping.
I have floated the idea of some hooliganism.
Regrettably, in his efforts to capture all these incredible landscapes for you, our intrepid drone pilot Ben did eventually meet his match in the form of a tree.
Yeah, I wrecked the drone. Yeah.
I mean, that tree came out of nowhere.
I was pointed the other way. I was getting like a cool coming out over these. Yeah.
Found a blade. Now we need the rest of it. Ben, catch. Blades all over the place. I got it. We found it. It is so dark, but we found it. Way up in these trees.
He crashed the hell out of it.
This was in there. We were like, I think we're a good like 60 feet up.
Yeah.
This embankment, but we got it.
Good find.
That'll fly. That'll fly.
You think that'll fly?
I think that'll fly.
All right.
It needs blades, clearly.
Tree. And you can see me correct and then
Holy.
came out of nowhere, man. That tree just jumped me.
Dude, this is a miracle we ever got it. You crashed.
Yeah, it hit the top of the tallest one over there.
Holy cow.
I'm surprised it made it to the ground.
Yeah, dude, you should have just like been like, all right, got it, and then just like started driving. Ooh, Ben, look at the fog on the mountains up here. We could absolutely send the drive.
Oh, sorry. My bad, I forgot.
Yeah.
It took approximately 1 hour and 1 state border for Ben to get his comeuppance.
So Ben has locked his key in the trunk. You can no longer make fun of me for crashing a drone. That's fair. He's ripping apart his interior to reach the emergency I'm trapped in the trunk release to get his keys back out. Actually, can you reach your key?
That's what I'm trying to do.
Wait a minute.
I have no idea where the key is.
Yeah.
Hey! Yeah, you packed it pretty tight, so that's, All right, where's the key? That's it. That would be the key right there. Ben? Yeah. Your key is a tool. Nice. There you go. Now you gotta put your car back together. It was good that we were getting all of our bad luck out of the way, because in the next few days, we had some ground to cover. Alright, well, unfortunately, we cannot spend a lot of time in my favorite state of Montana, because we've got to make a lot of progress. We got to filming other stuff as well, kind of in the upper, Midwest area, Midwest, East Coast area. We got some more roads over there to drive, but we've only got like a handful of days left on this trip, so we're all the way over in Montana. Now we have to make a ridiculous amount of progress. My Google Maps for the day says 1,000 miles to drive today, so there might not be a lot of filming through the middle part of the country here, but other than Montana, you're not really going to miss out on much because we're mostly going into the plains.
We will not be stopping very much through Montana. It is a gorgeous state. It is well worth a visit. I just don't know if that's from a fun driving road perspective or not. You can let me know in the comments. What road should we hit when we do this road trip again? When we do part 2 of finding the best driving roads in America.
I think after the, I don't know how many road trips you've done, nine road trips maybe, I would say that this has been the best car that I've taken on a road trip.
Even a Honda that has been heavily modified, that's been stripped completely down to a frame and rebuilt with parts that weren't even from the car. This car has still been just about as dead reliable as I've ever had on a road trip.
It is a little big, and I will still stand by that. It is a little big, but other than that, it's awesome. Like 10 out of 10. Would road trip again.
I think that what we've done so far has been extremely effective at making this car, walking it back from being a race car and making it a really, really, really good driver's car. But I'm just one man. This is just one man's opinion. I would like to get the opinion of one more man. One fella that knows a lot about S2000s, and this S2000 in particular.
We trudged on to Chicago, where the following morning, I had an appointment with Jackie Ding. But first, I have one more thing to sell. Of course, this trip has its own poster, which is available now on our merch site, oildrip.shop. There's satin finish, 80-pound cardstock, 12 by 18 inches, and only 300 will be offered, so get yours now.
Basically, there's nothing left from what you did to this car. The rear quarters both got cut off and re-welded and glued because you had cut them.
Yeah.
And
not very well.
But
no.
At the time, I think you were probably like 19.
Some younger. The headlight's mine.
The headlights are yours.
The headlights are mine because they don't fit properly. I remember that.
You can identify that they're yours because they're...
Because I walled it in Mid-Ohio, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
I filmed you drive it into the wall at Mid-Ohio. And ITBs?
Of course. Oh, these are some big boy ITBs.
This is a Porsche 4-screen metallic, which is like absolutely filthy. There's no sun, so you can't see the flake in the paint.
Oh, I see it. No, this car is like almost like exact same condition as I sold it to you. It's just
that's maybe the most insulting thing I've ever heard in my life. Right now it makes like maybe 200 horsepower with like crappy gas from the Midwest.
So after what, like a 40-part YouTube series, you've downgraded it.
Shut up.
No, you've improved. I'm sorry, cut. You've improved the experience. You know,
So you understand the vision.
Of course.
Yeah, it's not about raw
We are
performance.
men of vision. Yes. We're not about performance, we're about vision, you know. The experience, the tingle of driving a NA4 banger.
Would you like to experience the tingle of my banger?
May I?
Wow. Yeah, you fit in this car really well.
Because it's like my car.
Yeah.
You know, it's wow. I don't know. Sorry. god, okay. It does take a bit to kick
You gotta-
the plates open. Oh. Can I just say, it's just as rattly as I remembered it.
Yeah.
I'll give it a go here.
It's not very fast, so the lower gear, the faster it feels.
Alright, let's go. Dude, it goes like a motorbike. Holy crap! Like, you think it's over and then just keep going. Alright, let's give it a go. 6 grand, 7 grand, 8 grand, 9 grand, 1.5, let's go! Oh my god. Oh, okay. Just... It pains me to say this. I don't think it's ever been this good.
I guarantee you it's been faster. But
Yes?
I don't know.
It's never felt that tingly magical before, you know what I mean? Because this is like crazy. I was telling you how much money I was willing to offer to buy the car back after I've driven it. The zeros have started adding up. Alright. I'm blown away, man. I'm blown away.
Thanks, man. I feel like I have the approval of my Chinese dad, even though you're 4 years younger than me.
Since Jackie had taken a test drive in my S2000, it was only natural that he wanted me to experience his ITB car.
My favorite part about this car is it's really simple.
Yeah.
I fixed a mechanical wiring gremlin on it. I can never work on it. Well, I was gonna say my car, but your car. But like this.
Our car.
Our car. I like that. But this thing has a whopping 4 sensors.
Jackie has owned this Toyota A86 since he was a teenager, a gift from his late grandfather. It's his pride and joy.
The ITBs sound good,
Oh,
dude.
it's throaty.
I think it's your exhaust is so quiet.
Yep. Do you hear more of that?
It's very smooth, dude.
Yeah.
It feels so much bigger than the S2000, even though it weighs so much less.
Well, because there's so much little steel, so if we crash, we're all,
We'll die.
where are the metaphorical tofus in here? You know?
Sorry. The red line was much earlier than expected. Oh, manual brakes.
Yeah, manual brakes. Let's go!
Oh. We didn't even go that fast.
Exactly, that's the point.
Oh man, this is so fun, bro. It's so manual.
I know, analog.
It doesn't scare me to rev like the S2000 does because it doesn't quite go to like 10K.
Yeah. Like, look, when I was driving that, it goes like, oh my god, not too much, ah! You know? It doesn't go anywhere, it just makes a lot of noise.
Yeah.
It's great. It's my therapeutic car, you know? You get in this car, it's like therapy.
Well, yeah, because it's like shouting into the void. Like you're going as hard as you can, but you're not speeding or affecting the real world or breaking any laws.
You're not annoying anybody.
Yeah.
You know, you're not being, scary, you're not being dangerous. You're just in your little cocoon enjoying this, you know?
You need to do a road trip in this. Finding the best driving roads in this car, like this car on Tail of the Dragon.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'd like to try that.
It would be perfect.
Maybe we should.
Stopping through Chicago to have Jackie drive his old car was such a joy, and it really felt like the build has come full circle. the first phase of the S2000 build really feels complete, including a seal of approval from the man himself.
I'll think about it. I'll think of a number.
Okay.
And on the 16th and final day of our trip, inexplicably in the middle of Ohio, we arrived at the final spirited driving road on our trip.
This is Route 555, known by enthusiasts as the Triple Nickel. The route goes on for over 60 miles. In the 1930s, 555 was largely gravel, used to connect a string of villages together. Now, it's just completely crazy.
Oh, Triple Nickel Road. Farmland country for sure. There are farms on every single corner, cows everywhere. And that's kind of cool, I will say. Well, what's not cool is the amount of houses that are on the road. A lot of traffic going by, a lot of driveways, which does not make for a conducive driving road because, well, you might have to stop on a dime because, on a dime, maybe on a nickel because someone's pulling into their driveway. So that's not great, but the road itself is pretty cool. It's nice and windy and flowy, but what's different about this road that we haven't had on any of these other roads is the elevation change up to down immediately. Like there's so many crests of hills that you get that like pit in your stomach where you go, ooh, like you feel a little light. And I feel like if you were to actually drive hard, you could probably get the car completely airborne. I don't plan on doing that, just saying you probably could.
Wow, look at that. We gotta get a shot of that. A twist into two, almost, they look like jumps. Oh, yeah, and there was a truck coming over that we could not see. That's completely blind crest. Crazy. Whoa, and then it goes into like an off camber. Wow, this is weird. This is disconcerting. I don't know what this road's gonna throw at me next.
It is kind of just like a normal backcountry road. It is flowy. It has got some tight, like right here, some tight sections, which can be fun. But then it opens up into a bunch of houses and stuff. So it's kind of like you're trading back and forth between some nice sections and then some boring sections. And as far as the road as a whole, it's tough to give it a good rating because of that. Like now we're driving by a cemetery and this looks like a whole-on neighborhood.
A lot of residences, but right up to the road. There are houses right next to the road, which is not really what you're looking for when you're looking for a spirited driving road. You know, you don't want to be zooming by people's domiciles.
This road is like a test road for GM vehicles, and I can see why. I don't think necessarily because it's like a fun road to drive on, but I think it's because the road has all the different types of driving styles. You got the flowing sections, the slow sections, the straight sections, and then the elevation. So it's kind of nice as far as like testing a car out. It does a really good job at that. The road goes from really fun to really boring really quickly, and then back to really fun. So like now I think we're getting back to fun. Little neighborhood there, and now we're back to some windy country roads. As far as the windy country road sections, it's fantastic, it's great. But because we have those neighborhood sections, I don't think I can rate it that high.
As we continued to eat up the miles, though, the number of houses and villages we saw decreased, and the absurdity of the road design increased. Starting from Zanesville, you need to give Triple Nickel about 20 miles before it really gets good, which is a bit excessive, but it does get good.
I might have to change my rating here a little bit. Now that we're kind of in the middle section of this road, it's amazing. It's really good. It doesn't flow, which is kind of a weird thing to say that I like, because it's like, man, it really keeps you guessing. You come up on like a hairpin and you're like, is it gonna turn right? Is it gonna cross over a hill? Is it gonna go down? Is it gonna, like you don't know. And because of that, like keeping you guessing, it keeps it really exciting. The scenery is still bad. It's really bad, and there's houses way too close to the road. People give you dirty looks. The actual road itself is so darn good. Everything else is not.
It's a weird road.
It really is.
I mean, it's fantastic. Like there's sections where you're like, this is completely crazy that they built a road like this and then just told the general public to drive on it. Because you have turns on top of blind hills that are off camber.
The one that gets me is when you're like climbing up a hill and you see the road fall away and you're like, do you think it's gonna turn after I crest this hill or is it straight?
Most likely it will turn.
Yeah, I'm like looking at Google Maps to know. I'm like, oh, the road goes straight after this crest. All right, cool. And I'm just like trusting that it goes straight.
I was just trusting that you weren't gonna drive off the road and just following you. It seems like a civil engineer's complete obstinance to the idea of leveling the terrain.
No, yeah, just put the road on top of the terrain.
Exactly, exactly, yeah. I think you really don't see roads like this because usually things get flattened out.
Yeah.
At least a little bit.
Dude, I can't imagine riding this on a motorcycle.
Yeah,
This would be so sketchy.
You genuinely get a roller coaster sensation going the speed limit in a road car. And we haven't even done like technically all of it. Like we've done probably 45 miles of it. It really turns into a more rural, like less populated road and also gets way more technical. Like this section we just drove through was nuts.
Yeah. There's like a good 5-mile stretch every now and then where I'm like, man, this road's great. And then we come into a town, I'm like, maybe not, you know? Like
it's in spurts.
Yeah. They're kind of sprinkled. If I were to rate the scenery, it's a 2.
If you've ever wondered what Ohio looks like,
I mean, this is the best spot.
This is the best scenery, yeah.
It's weird to rate it a 2 when you got this behind you. This is why it's not a 0, because it's like really good here. But on a lot of places, it's not very good. But the road, I rate the road pretty highly. Initially, I rated it a 7.
Yeah.
Which gives it a total rating of a 5.5, which I think is really funny. But I gotta increase it because the road is really good. So I'm bumping it up to a 6.5 total for the road.
6.5.
That's my rating.
Yeah, I think that just for like the sheer uniqueness of it and the length that you can drive this for, almost 70 miles.
But how much of that's actually good road? I feel like 15 or 20 miles of it.
We haven't even done the whole thing.
That's true. That's true.
And 15 to 20 miles, I mean, that's a lot. That's more than the Dragon.
Yeah.
I would give it a 7.5.
Okay.
So I think we're at a 7.
7? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I think this is important, okay? We're done.
Yep.
Okay, we have finished. We're not driving any more good roads. What is your favorite from the trip? We rated them what we rated them.
I do think Yerba Buena is rated the highest as far as our actual number
But forget
ratings.
what we rated at the time. Now that we're done with the trip, just what stands out over the last 2 weeks?
If I were to go back and try to remember some of these roads, right? We've got like through Idaho, Gold Rush.
Yep.
We've got.
I forgot about Gold Rush.
Of course you did. The Sultan Basin Road. We've got Pacific Coast Highway.
Yep.
We did
Apache Trail.
We did Mulholland Drive, kind of.
We technically did Route 66.
We did Yerba Buena. We did Route 66.
Yep. And the Dragon.
And we did the Tail of the Dragon.
And the Parkway.
Yeah, we did the Parkway. We did that one road that was snowing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think that was a freeway.
It was that one, yeah, it was awful.
Yeah, I think
that one's at the bottom.
I believe that was I-40.
But maybe the most memorable. Yeah, I think Pacific Coast Highway always hits. But I like the scenery. I definitely lean more towards, and I've learned that on this trip, I think. Like, a good driving road, to me, I favor the scenery. I think it needs both, but I definitely favor the scenery. I think Pacific Coast Highway would be like the most memorable to me from for a good reason.
I think the biggest revelation to me on this trip is Yerba Buena.
Yeah.
Like, it has the scenery, but in this car specifically, it is the absolute, you're in nirvana.
Yeah.
And I think that the thing I'm gonna recollect the most from this trip is how locked in I was on that road. Like, everything gelled so perfectly.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, from a road perspective, driving perspective, it was also beautiful, but that road was so good. It's shocking to think about how many other Yerba Buenas are out there.
Yeah.
Like, how many roads did we not hit?
We know we didn't visit even half of the great driving roads that the US has to offer, some of which we've heard of, and many of which we haven't. Just reading the comments on the road trip series so far, we've learned about Route 421 in Tennessee, Prescott Valley in Arizona, and the Nürburgring in California. In fact, we have enough recommendations to do this whole trip all over again.
Thank you very much to Speck. If you guys would like to take an epic road trip like this and not have to worry about the condition of your paint, I would also highly recommend that you get some Speck PPF on your car, even just the front end or something like that. Thank you guys for watching. We're gonna try and finish off this road trip off camera. We have about 6 hours to go getting home. This is the end of the video, but
there were some bloopers, so stick around and watch those. Thank you guys very much for watching, and look forward to the next road trip.
Subscribe. Well, I don't think we said that.
Oh yeah, subscribe.
Yeah, there was that kind of major thing.
Yeah, this is the end.
All right.
Goodbye.
Ben, do you own a restaurant in Washington?
I'm trying to hide this from you.
You've been
For a while.
hiding the fact that you own a Chinese restaurant here?
Welcome to Lynn's restaurant, Ben. I kind of ran out of ideas when I was picking the name. Come on in.
What's good on the menu?
The sesame chicken.
Yeah, a little bit there.
This is from Tail of the Dragon, but I'm not seeing any holes.
It's like every bridge truss you throw sparks.
Yeah, but no holes yet, which is fantastic.
Yet. Oh, great.
Ben and Cam are inside the Western Ranch Supply, purchasing a little piece of headgear, and I'm very excited to see what Cam comes up with.
I'm trying to drink down my coffee so that it doesn't spill when we go around these corners up here.
It's hot. I can't drink it fast enough.
Drink it, Cam. Drink
I can't.
it.
Blounteville, Tennessee, baby.
All right, well, you ready to get going, I guess?
Going.
Oh, man.
Clap. Pop, pop. Okay.
Welcome to the great state tax-free Montana.
That's a good look.
Thank you.
Well, I guess if it's tax-free, I can't help myself.
Jackie, your right blinker is on. Yeah, okay.
Oh, whoops. So it doesn't reset, Ben.
Yeah, no.
I did that.
Yeah, you took out the clocks.
Oh, we got a little pocket here.
Mini gravity cavity.
Woo! Coffee's spilling already.
Oh, your milk is gone. Not really.
It's not gone. Oh, man.
Oh, may you experience my banger?
Yeah, can your banger tingle me or whatever?
Oh, you can totally be tingled by my banger.
Yeah.
Partner. Oh, right this way, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, yeah, don't mind if I do.